Hey everyone, welcome to today's Fact or Fiction. So
Hello.
today, me and David are recording from separate areas, separate locations, but
So sad,
technology
so sad.
technology allows you to meet from anywhere on the globe pretty much. So my name is Maria Mejia,
And I'm David Pataki.
and today's Fact or Fiction is if you know your matrix, you can always be profitable. And that is, it's a fact.
Back. Back.
It's a fact. So, do
Well,
you
why don't
know?
we explain what we call the FS matrix or the financial success matrix? Maria, why don't you go ahead and explain that?
So, the matrix is different aspects of your business that make you profitable. So, in the business world, we hear the term KPIs or key performance indicators. Those are your goals or milestones that you want to be hitting every single day, week, or month to be able to reach, your business goals or to your business standard. So we like to ask all of our business friends, do you know what are those 3 to 5 KPIs in your business specifically to be able to help you reach your target?
Right. So we like to use the term target or standard, sorry, as opposed to goal, because the goal is something that you shoot for, and if you don't get there, then it's not such a big deal. But a target is something that a standard is where you need to be. We like to sit down with the clients that we work with and say, okay, what is the revenue that you need to earn this month to be profitable? Right. So then we set that as the standard, and then we go, okay, so what are the 3 to 5 activities that you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis? Again, depending on your business, how quickly the turnaround or the sales process is. What are the key things that you need to do on a regular basis that is going to allow you to achieve that standard?
So, I like as we've been saying, those goals are different depending on what your business is. So, obviously, if you sell a product, your KPIs are going to be different than someone who gives services. So, since we like our little lawn mowing company, a couple of KPIs that they might be keeping track of is um, how long does it take them to, perform their service? How long does it take them to cut a lawn? Because they want to be as efficient as possible. So they got to keep track of that. How many employees are actually working every single week? Are they able to, give those times that they contracted those employees or those contractors? Another KPI is, are they getting a good return on their investment? We've talked previously about common sizing, comparing expenses to your income. Are their expenses consistent with the income that they're generating? Is one of them increasing while the other one's staying the same or decreasing or vice versa?
Right, and the key to that is so that you can start seeing the trends to see whether or not your profitability is getting better or whether it's declining. And it's not always strictly about the profit or the billable hours, what you were saying there, right? Like, so you might be paying the employee for 8 hours, but are they only doing 6 hours of billable hours? And if so, is there a way to address that? But also comes to down to building the business or generating new leads or new sales. If you need to continually add to new clients to your business, then there are KPIs or standards that you need to be hitting on a weekly basis as well. And that could be the amount of phone calls that you're making, follow-ups that you're making, quotes that are going out the door, or that you're emailing, you know, Facebook posts. It's different for each business, of course. But I'm throwing a bunch of different things out there, but you got to find the 3 to 5 that are very important to your specific business, and those are the ones that help you generate the revenue to get to the target, or sorry, the standard that you've set for yourself each and every month.
So, David, since you've ran multiple businesses, when a business owner starts their business, they don't exactly know, what should my KPIs be? I just started last week and I don't really have any, lofty goals for my business, but I don't really have a track record either. So, how can I figure out what my KPI should be when I just started my business?
Great question, Maria. So what I would suggest, or what I always recommend, is that you sit down and go, okay, figure out what expenses, overhead, or cost of goods that you're going to incur while performing the service or providing the products. So that kind of gives you a baseline on the minimum that you need to be earning every month. And then you go, okay, well, uh, is there marketing on that? Is there how much take home pay do I want to get? And then you start adding this up, and then you get yourself that target. You need to be at, for example, $7,000 of revenue each month, because you know that 3,000 of it is overhead. You know, there's a loan for some equipment that you have. There are the utilities, the cell phone, the internet, all that stuff. And you go, well, I also want to take some money home. So now you know that you've got $7,000 as your standard for that month. And then, okay, so in order for me to achieve that, what are my like if it's a product, for example, let's use a widget, $100 widget, and you are selling them at 30, or sorry, the cost of goods sold is $70. So you have a $30, 30% profit, or $30. So then you got to figure out how many widgets do you need to sell in order to earn that $7,000. So if it's 70 times 100, we're at the 7,000. So now you know you got to be selling 70 of those to get there, right? 70 to get
Mhm.
to 7,000.
A lot of widgets.
Right. So then you got to think, okay, well, then you break that down per week. How many per week do I need to sell? So if you know how many per week you need to sell, then that week, when you know, so that's probably about I think 8 or 9 a week. So if you're into week 2 and you've only sold 5, then you go, oh, what's wrong here? And then if you look at so what is it that isn't happening to make this, so I should be at my uh, no, 70, it should be like 19, sorry, or 18, somewhere around there. No, a little hard doing the math off the top of my head here, but the point is, once you figure it out, you can tell whether or not you're on track to hit that standard. And if you're not, then you can make adjustments during the month to help that happen, help make that happen.
For sure. Being an accountant, a KPI that I can think of is, are you getting your information, your data entered in every single week? It is very important, especially at the start of a business, is to set a good pattern for yourself when it comes to data entry. So are you entering everything for the week by Friday, the end of the day? And are you doing that consistently? That way, at the end of the month, you're able to, look back on the month and say, yes, everything's entered in. Time to file my taxes if you got to file monthly GST, HST, or even payroll. Making sure that everything's entered in on time.
Right, and that's an excellent point there. And I think a mistake that a lot of business owners, especially in the beginning, is that they don't factor in all of what it takes for the cost of goods sold. Right, like I mean, there's some obvious things. If there's a lease payment, or just the cost of the product itself, the wholesale price to get it there. But is it just so you're buying it for $25, but is there shipping on that? Then you also think, okay, well, there is the time to receive that product, there's the time to ship that product. Is all that being factored in? And is there overheads that are factored in there, right? So you should be taking your monthly overheads and figuring, okay, so I'm open, whatever it is, 40 hours a week, so divide your overhead expenses into those 40 hours per week to break down what it actually costs you per hour to be open. So now that helps you again with your KPI or with the cost of goods sold, right? So that's got to be added on to the wholesale costs, the delivery, the receiving, the shipping. Is there uh, any kind of special packaging that you need to put on there? But also, is there a Facebook ad or sort of a Google AdWord? Is there a newspaper ad? Like there's a lot of different things that you need to take into consideration. And if you just take the $25 it costs wholesale and you go, oh yeah, I'm going to sell that for $35, for example, you put a $10 markup on that, and then you forget that it's actually costing you, a dollar for this, a couple dollars for that, and then your overhead, then really at the end of the day, maybe you're only making $4 profit on your $35 product.
Mhm. And so, since there's so many different options, we encourage you to, talk with a professional, talk to a mentor or a business coach, such as David,
Or a quality bookkeeper,
such as
such
myself.
as bookkeeper slash accountant. Let's put the
Yep,
accountant part in there because you did go to school for all that.
I got my degree in accounting. So talk to a professional. Don't be scared. If you just started in business or if you just started another business, like talk to someone, let them know, share ideas, bounce ideas off of them. That is what they are there for. That's what we are here for. So if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. Shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from everyone and to answer any of the questions that you have.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be just a startup business. If you've been in business for 5 years, it's always good. You need to know if you truly want to have a successful, profitable business and you want to grow it, then you need to know what your standards are and you need to know what your 3 to 5 KPIs are, or what we like to call the FS matrix, so that you know that you're hitting those targets every month.
Mhm. So, as we said, like, subscribe, share this information with anyone that you think might benefit from it. And we will answer any questions that you have next time.
Yes, and we will be back together, hopefully side by side, because I like to feed off the energy that Maria has. And yeah, any questions, please shoot them off. But see, you know what? Even if you can stump us, send us a question that you think will be difficult to answer, and we will tackle it on our next video. So we'll see you everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye.